Thanks for watching live or listening back to this show from Teachers Talk Radio. You can catch up with all our shows by visiting our YouTube channel or by listening back at ttradio.org. Don't forget to like and subscribe to enjoy more live education conversation from TTR. We hope you enjoy this show.
Outstanding and world-class vision and world-class this.
I'm a real leadership geek, honestly. I've spent my whole career reading books and chatting to people.
I just find the whole thing and the announcement, the way it's been announced, bizarre.
If you could move away from a model where teachers are so intensely focused.
Hello. Hello. How are we all? How are you, Ray? Happy Monday.
I'm okay.
I'm okay. It's done. It's Tuesday now.
That's a good way of thinking about it. Just as soon as you leave the building on whatever day, it's automatically the next day.
100%. Yeah. And like week 4 is done. You guys realize that. This is week 4. We're in it. It's like done in my head. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's only 2 more.
Exactly. See.
Only more. And
this is my mindfulness.
Yeah. But if I think that, because I have an inset day on Friday, and if I think that week is already gone, then I'm not looking forward to the inset day, which feels like I'm ripping myself off slightly. So I'm not.
Your week is like extra done because there's no kids in on Friday. So you're even more done than the rest of us.
Yeah, I guess. That works. That works for me. Anything that kind of wishes my life away faster, I am on board with.
Wish the week away, wish the week away.
Oh.
So I had a nice treat.
So sad. What did you do?
Yeah, I didn't do anything, and I didn't do anything. I walked in and one of the cover teachers was like, I'm covering you tomorrow afternoon. I was like, really? What a treat. What a Monday treat. It's like, why? What am I? It's like, first of all, I was like, why? What did I do? And who am I meeting with?
Mm-hmm.
Is it like that's where the mindset what did I do?
So why are they covering you? What's the occasion?
What is the occasion? I mean, because Christmas is gone. The occasion is that I am phonics lead, and we have visitors coming in that help us with our phonics. So I get a day off to meet with them, but I have to prepare for this meeting. And because it's like flu season and everybody's yucky and everyone like people have been off. So I've been covering loads of phonics teachers and I haven't had time to kind of actually sit down and prepare for this day-long meeting. So yeah, I was like, wow, never get stuff like this. Amazing. So even more so, even like Tuesday for me, done, in the bag, gone, guys.
It's basically Wednesday for you anyway.
Right. It's basically February.
I mean, it basically is. That's not. Sorry, can we back up a second though? Because I teach secondary, so you've already lost me. You have people coming in. You said to help us with our phonics. Can you? And I'm thinking like, do you need the word sounded out for you? What does that mean?
Me personally, yes, I'm working towards in phonics. Yes, for all the high school teachers out there, a couple of years ago, the government mandated, or whichever word you'd like to use, that you have to choose a specific phonics scheme and you have to show fidelity to the scheme that you choose. And within this, we get some support from the English Hub, which are basically the DFE. And yeah, very lovely lady comes in once a term to I guess it's more advise.
Okay, I understand that word. Okay,
yeah, an advisor. Yeah. She's lovely. Yeah, she's really, really nice. So she comes in, she sits with me. I tell her what I've done, how wonderful the things are that I've done. And then she comes around and watches all the phonics lessons with me. And then we do like tutoring together, and yeah. So nice.
Does every primary school have someone that comes in to do that?
No.
So why do you?
Just so special, Ray.
I
It's so special.
Okay.
I actually don't know.
Oh.
Yeah. She does actually go to lots of different schools, and she actually is like an advisor on lots of different phonics schemes, which it's quite cool, I think.
Yeah, it's just a whole different world. Like sometimes you'll just throw something out really casually as if it's incredibly obvious and not everyone knows what that means. And I'm like, that sounds really hard. Or like, what do words mean? I don't know.
I actually did a meeting with all the parents last week about phonics. I was just like, some of the faces were like, I was like, you know when it's like a tense forehead and you're like, do you know what I'm talking about? I'm not really sure. I hope so. Yeah. Maybe you do. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of lingo in phonics, isn't there?
I can imagine. I mean, my mother taught me to read using it's not like she had a book. It's not like it wasn't one of those like, you know, they have the books teach our kids to read with some phonics system or whatever. She didn't have that. She just did it. And I learned to read before I ever went to school because my mom taught me. And then I realized when I went into teaching, like doing my PGCE, I was like, oh, that was a phonics thing. And like, they don't really do that anymore. Or like all the people that I went to school with in this country on my PGCE hadn't learned it that way. Like they'd learned a different way of doing it. Now, because I kept when I went to observe in a primary school, it was part of my PGC requirement. Bear in mind, this was 15 years ago. And we had to spend a week in a primary school, which was, and I had just moved to the country, right? And I just went to the primary school around the corner from my flat and was like, please help me. I'm foreign and I don't know anyone. And they let me come in for a week. And it was,
oh, that's so nice.
Yeah, it was very nice of them. And it was incredibly eye-opening and also slightly terrifying. And I remember sitting with these kids and I kept saying something like when they were trying to read, I was like, sound it out.
Yeah.
What sound does that make? What sound does that make? And these kids were looking at me like I was speaking a different language entirely. And so I was just like, what is going on over here? Like, what? It's so confusing. But I feel like things have like
changed,
swung around again. I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, I learned to read in nursery school, and I don't remember how. I remember we had this book called Letterland at home. I'm sure people listening have heard of Letterland. Yeah, it's a total 80s. Yeah, it was like every letter was a character, and they had a whole story, and there was this whole like spiel about each character, each letter. It was very cute. But yeah, my parents tell me that I learned to read when I was in nursery, and I believe them. So, but I mean, my niece is 7. I mean, like I taught her to read when she was 2, because I taught her to orally blend. And really, like the magic is in orally blending, right? Once you can orally blend, if I give you 3 letters, you would be able to blend it and read it.
And see, even that, Leanne, if I took that out of context and you asked me what orally blend meant.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Just the land.
Yeah, I wouldn't know what that was, but I wouldn't guess it on a radio show.
Yeah, but you must have things in high school in secondary that I'd be like, what? I don't understand. Like my friend is a Scottish teacher and she moved back to Scotland and all the lingo is different. Like it's the same thing, but the lingo is different. So like a book is a jotter.
Sorry?
Oh yeah, I know.
Like an exercise book, like you jot stuff in an exercise book.
Well, because it makes sense. You jot things down. It's called a jotter.
Sure.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, orally blending is just smushing sounds together. Really.
With your mouth.
This is the technical explanation. Smushing sounds together.
But that makes more sense. Do you know the really embarrassing thing? I was actually going to major in linguistics at university.
You should know what it means then.
No, but they didn't say orally blend. They said something else. And anyway, I had a panic attack in a lecture one time and I dropped the course and then it No.
Oh no, why? Was it a phonics lecture?
I think it was, but it was I don't remember what the topic was, and I remember getting so in my head about like I thought this is what I really wanted to do, and there are so many careers that this is relevant for. Like I was always going to major in English, but I wanted to double major in English and linguistics. Or no, that's not true. No, everything I've just told you is a lie. I was going to major in English and then have 2 minors because Canadian universities be crazy. I was going to have 2 minors, one in sociology and one in linguistics or something like that. I think so. And then I had that flip out because I was just sat there and I was like, I don't understand a single sentence that is coming out of this man's mouth. Like I'm surrounded by like 200 people in Linguistics 101 who clearly get it. I am literally the only person in this room who doesn't understand a single thing. I mean, half of what he was saying was literally another language. It was about like the phonetics, I guess, the alphabets and the sounds in some other language. And I was like, none of this is making sense to me. I am going to fail at everything. I'm going to fail at life. And it just like, I think it was other stuff obviously in my life at the same time as well. And I just couldn't breathe. I remember calling my dad outside the lecture hall being like, and it was awful. So that's how I ended up double majoring in English and sociology. Yeah. So clearly I don't remember anything. I was lying in bed the other night and I was trying to like remember what a certain kind of fricative was because I wanted to like talk about it in a lesson the next day. And I was like, I don't even.
A fricative?
Yeah. Like it's like there's like friction in the air is how I always used to think about it. Like plosives are like air explosions coming out of your face. And then fricatives are like, it's more like a hissing or an F sound or something. Is something. I don't remember. I told her this was like almost 20 years ago.
Fricative.
But
this is the word.
Yeah.
I've never heard that word before.
But it'd be really helpful if you're talking about poetry, especially because things that are meant to be heard, things that are meant to be read aloud, all the individual letter sounds become incredibly important. So if you're studying, for example, Wilfred Owen, who is the king of this, then it can be helpful to be able to identify those things and name them. But you don't need to know that.
Like intonation.
Sorry?
Like, is that like for intonation?
Yeah, like I can't.
What a brilliant word.
It's okay.
I'm going to teach it to the kids tomorrow and you too. Right.
Fricative. Yes, right. Sorry, I've just looked it up. Okay, so a fricative is a consonant made by the friction. I'm not lying. I thought I made this up to remember it. Okay, made by the friction of breath in a narrow opening, producing a turbulent airflow. So, for example, the F sound or TH.
Yeah.
So it's like the air being like hissed through your teeth, lips, or mouth. That's a fricative. And then there's different kinds. Like a dental fricative would be just make like a sh sound. I think SH is a dental fricative. And but you can have like multi combinations, like a labiodental. It's nuts. It's nuts. It's nuts.
Now I understand why you reacted that way in the linguistics lecture.
Where the panic attack came from. Yeah.
Is this English?
I know, but it's really interesting. And I remember before I had my minor hysteria and dropped it, we used to sit, like my friends and I that were in that same class, we used to sit with our homework assignments and we'd be like in a huddle in someone's living room, like drinking beer and making sounds at each other. Like, how do you say this? Is the L sound different in play and child's play and pl? And we'd just be saying it like over and over again. It sounded completely insane.
Ray, you're selling yourself short. Because the most annoying sound to teach to little children is the sound, because they all use a instead of a.
I don't think they do that as much in Canada. I feel like that's accent related.
100%, yeah. This is a fricative. I'm going to tell them that in my phonics group. I want to hear the fricative of the.
Well, the problem is the F sound is also a fricative.
I know. Yeah. Also, I'm going to say fricative, and they're going to be like,
you just want to say fricative. It's a great word, yeah.
Bad word. It's a bad word.
It is good.
One of my co-teacher came in, and she was like messing about. She was joking that I have this really cute kid in my class. One of the girls really cute. They all are, but there's one kid. and she loves her, and she wanted her to come into her classroom, but she was just like messing about, like taking the mic.
Yeah.
And she said to me in front of the kids, she said, she's very loyal. And one of the boys, I think he must have thought it was a swear word, and he went, no, you're loyal.
Oh.
Like, okay, thanks for
Okay, yeah, because I immediately thought of a song from, again, like 15 years ago that I thought a kid was gonna. Kids don't know that music. Okay.
15 years ago. Not unless it's on a show.
Yeah, or in a TikTok. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, TikTok. Sorry. Yeah, like I do a dance party, so I have like magnetic circles on my board, and if they get 5 circles for doing the right thing, listening, whatever, they get a dance party. And I like always have these like great ideas for songs that I want to listen to.
Yeah.
And then when I'm like on the spot on YouTube, I'm blank. I'm totally blank. So the other day I put on NSYNC, Bye Bye Bye. They knew it.
How did they know it? Their parents?
I'll tell you how, because it's in Deadpool, apparently. I was like,
yeah.
How do you know Deadpool? There's no way it's a PG.
Oh, no.
No way. So, yeah.
Fair. So there are going to be some sounds this evening.
The cat agrees.
Yeah.
I think, like, doesn't one of our hosts have a dog? And I think the dog barks sometimes in the background. So,
okay, I feel a little bit better. You could hear my neighbors through the wall earlier, so the cat is an upgrade.
The cat's an upgrade. One of our listeners said, "I love it when people come in to analyze what I've been doing." I must be honest. When this lovely lady comes in, it's more of like a give to help.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, that's help. That is genuinely helpful. And if you know them, and I guess once they've been in and you've had those conversations and you realize it's supportive, and
definitely.
It's not like an observation, it's not a criticism, it's not flaw finding.
Yeah.
Then it's I guess a welcome guest, a welcome part of your
it's like
experience.
It's a partnership, really.
Yeah.
Like Paul is right. You don't get that a lot in teaching.
No.
And it's it's more coaching than observationing. It's coaching than observing, which is nice. Because I just feel like do you not get to a point, like I've been teaching for 10 years. I'm just a bit like, now that I've seen coaching from the phonics that I've been doing and like leading, I'm just a bit more like, I don't want to be observed anymore. I want you to sit and teach alongside me and advise me in the moment. It's so much more powerful and impactful, I think. Don't you?
Yeah.
To advise in the moment and to change in the moment.
I often feel that, like when I've had observations which have always stressed me out, even before I had some genuinely awful experiences with them.
Who hasn't?
It's exactly. I've often thought, like, if something was going wrong or a kid was kicking off or something was just, and there's another adult in the room, rather than just like sticking to the lesson plan, rather than that, why don't they actually respond in the moment and
I agree.
Rather than sitting back and waiting to see how I handle it just so you can give me a number grade or some sort of judgment, how about you actually contribute to this and show me how you could handle it, since you're clearly the expert in the room. And it's frustrated me on a few occasions. It's like, we're both professionals here. You can see that I'm having a moment, or this is difficult, or this kid needs X, Y, and Z, and you're just standing there with a clipboard.
Yeah, no, don't do that.
Okay. Yeah.
We had like a LinkedIn user who apparently agrees with you.
And you.
I feel like you'd be hard pressed to find teachers that disagree on that.
Yeah, to be fair, yeah.
And then another one saying,
well, I don't know about that actually, because there have also been times, in complete fairness, where if someone had jumped in or intervened before I'd like signaled to them, even with my eyes, that I wanted them to, I'd be really upset. I felt like they were overstepping, they were stepping on my toes, they were getting involved. Like, just, I generally feel like my general approach to most things in life is leave me the hell alone until I ask for help.
Yeah.
So like just leave me alone. Let me do it. And if I need help, I will ask for your help, and like then you better help me. But yeah. So I get that.
So this LinkedIn user was like, so important for mutual reflection. Years ago when I supported teaching, I would model first. That's what I mean, like model in the moment, you know?
Yeah.
And then also, I always engaged support staff in reflection and insisted on it. Also, when observing, I would get stuck in. I actually, ages ago now, I don't know if I read an article or watched something about a school who, like, the leadership wouldn't come in to observe interview lessons, but they'd have the support staff in the room, and then they would get them to feedback about the lesson.
Interesting.
Interesting, right?
Yeah. Interesting.
You feel a bit betrayed afterwards, I think, but
well, I don't know. I mean, surely there would be somebody like as a head. If I were a head of department, I'd want to be in the room, or I'd want my second in the room.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's like nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
Yeah, LinkedIn user agrees with you.
Yes, undermining, right. So yes, it would be annoying somebody undermining you and jumping in. Undermining is the word I was looking for. I've definitely had I don't think it's ever actually happened in an observation lesson where someone's jumped in when I haven't wanted them to. But in other cases, you know, like if a teacher's in the room or they're walking past or they're walking through. I used to teach drama lessons in the main hall of the school I was at. And there was one drama lesson that probably looked from the outside like complete chaos, but it was only slight chaos. Like it was in hand. It was organized chaos. But then there's this one kid that wasn't, one or two kids that like weren't listening or were chatting, and like I was like, I knew that, and I was on it, and I was going over, and I was about to deal with it, and then this other teacher that had been cutting through, which is not, it's a classroom right now, get out, was cutting through, just like stopped dead and started bollocking these kids at the top of her voice, and I just stood, and this was this is like my second year teaching ever. She was, I think she was a head of department, I think, but she was maybe not, but she'd been there for ages. She was like really experienced and respected, and like took no crap from anyone. And I'm sure she genuinely thought she was helping, but I was just like, I was mortified and I was so furious. Like I had to pull another passing teacher into the room, and I was like, can you just stand here for 2 minutes and make sure they don't set fire to the room? I have to go in the staff room and scream. And I did. I just crossed the corridor into the staff room and just like it was one of those moments of like pure rage. I was like, oh, I didn't know how to handle it. Yeah. But that was very frustrating.
It's annoying. That's like someone jumping into a conference like mid-conversation, isn't it? But it's like this. Don't do that mid-conversation because you missed the beginning.
Yeah. But if you're just joining us, that's absolutely fine. You can send you can comment and you can text in. That's fine.
Yes, please. Yeah, the person observing needs to be skilled enough in the area they are observing.
I'm never going to let this go. I'll be angry about this till I die. I want someone good instead of an outstanding on a drama lesson observation.
Yes, do tell.
Because the person leading the observation was a maths teacher. And that was the reason. That was like pure, like that was the reason. He said some other stuff, but that was the reason. He was a maths teacher, and he was saying in the feedback, he was like, well, you could have done this, you could have done that. And I was like, you have a fundamental misunderstanding of how this subject works.
Yeah.
In this school anyway. We don't do that here. And well, this was missing. Well, this was missing. According to your standards, Mr. Maths.
What was, I'm intrigued. What was the feedback?
It was something to do with it's weird. I'm holding on to the anger, but I'm not holding on to the rationale or the logic. It was something to do with like not putting something on the board. There was something that was missing from the board, which makes me think it was like a learning question or something. I can't feel like it. I feel like that. I don't know. I honestly don't know. But we used to do everything, unless it was one of the lessons where they were evaluating something in their actual books, in which case there was a lot on a PowerPoint or on the board. it was all verbal. It was all verbal.
As it should be.
Changed in that school. Right. Maybe things have changed in that school. Maybe things have, I don't know. But at that time there, it was all just, we talk, we listen, right? Why does it have to be on the board? Why do you have to, no one's checking. Like, it wasn't a requirement. It wasn't a department requirement or a school requirement. So it's not going to be on the board. Leave me alone. But because he thought whatever wasn't on the board should have been on the board.
That seems nitpicking.
And another time, I will stop after this. And another time, an ICT teacher, who I actually have a huge amount of respect for, but this really got me, made it a good instead of outstanding, because a very severely dyslexic child in a nurture group asked me how to spell a word. And according to, or said she didn't know how to spell a word. And according to this observer, what I should have done was encourage her to get out a dictionary and to find the word or help her sound it out. And I was like, if this kid gets the alphabet in the right order when she's singing the song, that's a win.
Yeah. No.
I'm trying to do so many things, get through so much stuff. I'm trying to help 10 different kids. That's way too many to have in the first place. I don't have time. She's not going to get it anyway. This is not the point. This is not the focus of what we're learning here. I'm just going to answer her questions so we can move on.
What was the word?
That was my I don't remember. That was my professional decision in the moment as the subject expert. But because the ICT queen of Google thought that I should. Yeah, no, that was infuriated.
To me, that sounds like nitpicking.
Oh, of course it was. Of course it was.
I don't know the underlying pedagogy of the subject, but I know you can use a dictionary to spell a word. That's it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I found something to write as a target, you know?
Yeah, literally. Yeah. So somewhere along there, I completely stopped caring about observations, but they still fill me with that anxiety that's really, really, really hard to shake. And I get the same kind of feeling every time an adult comes in my room, unless I know exactly why they're there and I'm expecting them. There's that flash of panic.
Yeah. I don't trust people when they walk in unannounced. Like, why are you here?
Why are you here?
Yeah. Are you watching me? Why are you here? And then they go up and they talk to a kid. And I remember, I'm like, oh, wait, I asked you to do that. Okay, it's fine, relax. But I can run up your feedback because once I was told that I should have sharpened the pencils. This is why I'm not an outstanding teacher, guys.
You know what? I would just be fine.
Okay, yeah. Okay, great. Thank you.
Fine. Yep. Smile and nod, smile and nod, smile and nod.
And if that's the only problem with it.
Yeah. I could live with that. I could sleep. And that's what I told myself. I was like, do you know what? If that's what a good teacher is, okay.
Okay.
I'm good.
Quite frankly, I like the kids to do it. It's good fine motor.
Yeah, you'd think. Sharpen your own pencils. Come on.
I mean electric sharpener. I don't
know. Anyway.
Our fabulous has commented quite a bit. So thank you very much. Whoever you are. I'm sure your name is not LinkedIn user. The crucial thing is empowering people to be reflective. Yeah, I'm too reflective. That's my problem. You know, when they go, so how do you think the lesson went? You're like, oh my God, what went wrong? Why are they asking me this? Did something go wrong? What did I do wrong?
Yeah.
Coaching.
I always want to be like, do you want an itemized list of every single mistake and every single thing? Because it's up here.
Yeah.
I could tell you. How long is this meeting?
How did you think it went? I don't think I did anything correctly. What do you think? Coaching definitely beneficial. If not, how will they improve between termly observations? Yeah, I think you've got to be proactive with observations. You've got to coach in the moment. This is probably some dated methods where there is almost a tick list formula, 100% tick list. Also feel this way about nonsense marking policies where the kids can't even read the feedback and it's just freak out. Yep. Marking nonsense. I love it when you mark in year one and you're like, this is a fabulous piece of writing. Well done. They can't read it. What's the point? Just draw a smiley face. They'll appreciate it more.
Give him a sticker.
So the LinkedIn user is Carla. Hi, Carla.
Hi, Carla.
Thanks for joining us. What is this, Paul? In my observation feedback, I was told they were disappointed in my portrayal of the highway rat. They said they didn't believe my performance. Oh my god.
Paul, is this a primary school lesson, or were you being considered for an Oscar? I don't understand.
I was gonna say, yeah. Go back to your acting coach, Paul. He said he nodded, but he was boiling inside. Do you know what I saw? We will get to our topic of the show.
30 minutes and 40 seconds.
Maybe not. I was watching a recording, and it was like, I don't know which author it was, but it was like a really famous author whose son was in a GCSE English class on his book. Wrote an essay about his father's book. Probably the dad helped him. And the teacher was like, I don't think you understood the portrayal of the character, something along that line. It was like, but I helped him with the essay and I wrote the book. I don't think you understand. Can you imagine? Can you imagine like having Julia Donaldson's child in your class and you'd be like, so the Gruffalo is a zebra? Yes. Can you imagine?
Oh man. Wow.
This is fabulous. Look at this. This is fabulous. My French lesson
I was told
my accent was poor. I think when you get
where do you go with that? I think because I'm so contrary and spiteful, I would go around school talking in this exaggerated like Lumiere from Beauty and the Beast accent for the rest of my life at that school.
Merci beaucoup. Bonjour.
Yeah, I would be just to annoy everyone. Although unless Carla is French, in which case this is way funnier.
Carla, are you French? Carla Nicholson? I don't think so.
No. Well, she might be married. You don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know. That would be epic.
Yeah. Maybe we could tell people about John Catt. Maybe they have books about perfecting your accent. Our Monday Late Show is brought to you in partnership with John Catt Educational, publishers of professional development books and resources that support great teaching and learning in schools around the world. You can level up your professional development today, and you can visit their website, johncattbookshop.com, to explore the full range of titles. And we have a code. Yay! Is she French? No. She's
no.
Not. Then we think you should work on your accent.
Yeah, fix that.
And you can go to John Catt Bookshop. They have a search tool on their website. And with JCTTR 2425, you get 20% off your order. So that's John Catt, who have been with us for ages, and they really have. It's a brilliant website, and she sounds like Del Boy. Well, this is hearing like this. We understand the feedback now. French Del Boy, Monsieur Del Boy. Our second.
I mean, sorry. In complete fairness, Carla, it must.
Yeah,
it was probably quite funny.
Must have been brilliant. I bet the kids were super engaged. I would love that.
Like I'd pay to see it.
Yeah, me too. We should get her on.
Yeah.
And so we're also one of our other friends is USA Study. So it's about studying in USA. So your students could study in the USA. USA Study is your one-stop platform for guiding students through their college application journey. You can access up-to-date resources on universities, programs, scholarships, and application requirements all in one place. Get easy to access tools, personalized timelines, expert tips, application templates, and exclusive webinars with admissions officers to help your students stand out. Visit USA Today. USA Today, that's a TV show. Visit usastudy.co.uk because every student deserves the opportunity to shine with USA Study. My feedback would be that I can't read correctly. I'm sure USA Today is also a great show. Yeah, you should watch it too. And then Teachers Talk Connect is our Teachers Talk Radio show that is coming up very soon in Manchester on Saturday, the 1st of March, 2025, Teachers Talk Connect. So it's our biggest free event ever. There's some great speakers, Lee Parkinson, who's Mr. P, ICT, Kate Jones, Vic Goddard. We're adding like lots of subject-specific people on as well. You can see it on our X page. Subject-specific CPD, fabulous networking, because when do we ever get to just chat to each other? Never. Yeah, and you can visit ttradio.org to find out more and get your tickets today. They're free. Yeah. Woohoo. Yeah. There we go. Weirdly, the kids loved her lessons and they were none the wiser. I'm sure they loved your lessons. Can you imagine French with a Cockney accent? Should we move on to what we said we would talk about?
We should.
Yes.
I feel like we should. Well, I mean, we kind of already have. We're talking about professionals in schools. Yeah. You've got a professional in your school tomorrow that I didn't even know existed and is incredibly useful. So, and you said primary school, not every primary school has them. So maybe that's one.
Yeah. Yeah. Like in-house coaches who can coach correctly are probably quite valuable, actually. I think so. Yeah. Like coaches, not observers. That'd be quite valuable. Like what's something extra you'd have if you could have in your classroom? You'd be like, yes, please.
I would have more. Well, I'd have smaller classes, so there would be space for this. I'd have more TAs for specific kids that really, really struggle to focus, because sometimes I'm literally like, let's pick a name, Max. I'll be like, blah, 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 Max, blah, 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 Max, blah, blah, blah. Like sometimes it's constant. It's like whack-a-mole. And it's like, and it's not, it's not always the kid's fault they can't focus, but it is my problem. And I would really like some more support rather than just constantly slashing budgets and then watching TAs and LSAs be the first on the chopping block.
Yeah.
I would also, this is not me personally, because I haven't had anything other than sharing a couple classes. I haven't had much to do with ECTs and teacher training for like over 5 years now. But watching the amount of work that mentors have to do for PGCE students, training students, and then the ECTs, all of that paperwork and everything. And I know they've just they made this plan to add a bunch of work and then they canceled it and said, oh no, we're not doing all this training stuff. It's still so much work it's so much work and so much admin and the lesson, like the lessons, the meetings you have to have, and the session, the coaching and, supposed coaching sessions, which is like, there's so much in terms of what's expected from mentors that no one can do it properly. No one's given the time. And then who's suffering? The teachers who need this support. So I feel like if I did feel like this a couple times in the past few months with student teachers through absolutely no fault of their own. But I did think if the universities, if the training providers want schools to do so much with these trainee teachers, it would be nice if the institutions actually did more. I don't know. I just feel like the work balance isn't quite right because it just seems like everybody struggles with it.
Yeah.
Come in. Yeah.
The thing with that though is that my thing is that we need trained professionals in schools, and TAs. I mean, especially now with I think behavior is becoming more challenging, and I have exactly the same as what you just mentioned. And I remember my first time teaching year 6 had kind of difficult behavior, and let's say maths is not my forte. And so when I was in year 6, and every 5 minutes I'd have to be sit down, stop talking. I'd be in the middle of a maths calculation. I'd be okay, sit down, stop talking. And I'd be I have no idea.
Oh no.
No idea. So in that respect, 100%, you do need that in the classroom, I think, with the way education and children are going. But for me, I feel like I look back old school and I'm like, we had a school nurse, that kind of thing.
Yes, that was my next one, school nurse.
I want educational psychologists in school, like not in school where it's like the NHS send them or whoever sends them and they're there for the day and they pull this one out and then that one out. No, I want ed psych in school where I can be like, could you come and watch this child? I think there's something, but I'm making educated guesses. Please, can you observe?
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Great. Yes, you agree with me. Okay, let's have some strategies. Let's sit now together, put strategies in place. Because I feel like at some point, even as a teacher, and that was like one of my questions, what are the parts of the job that aren't even teaching? And it's like these parts of the job that are actually jobs in and of themselves that we do because it's part of, like the love and the care and probably part of the teacher standards as well, let's be honest.
Yeah.
But we're not giving them the best of those parts because we're not psychologists,
Yeah.
We're not
I would like every school to have an ed psych for sure.
Yeah. Can you imagine like one day a week, and on that day you can be like, they're free, they roam the corridors, you can be like, Bob, actually, can you just come in and watch John for me? Because I think this and I've always feel like it's hard to give solutions when you don't know where the problem lies. And like as teachers, we can make guesses about our children and put one and one together, and usually you make two. But there's like only so many SEND resources you can print off of Twinkle until you get to a point where it's just a bit like it's more deep-seated than an out next end chart.
Yeah.
Yeah, Carla says she's done kind of support. I'm going to send you my school details and you come to me.
Help us.
Thanks, help us, yeah, please.
Yeah.
Ed psych in school, and actually that's my like next career dream. Actually, ed psych.
I don't think I'm ever going back to school. I don't think I'm ever going to get another degree. I would do like some sort of practice, like if I woke up and suddenly decided I wanted to go into carpentry, I'd do some carpentry stuff. But I just cannot see myself going back to university, and which is ridiculous because I like learning stuff. I like reading. I like all that stuff, but I like to do it on my own time, not be forced to. It really puts me off. But that's what I do every day to other people.
Yeah, the children. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh well. I think a nurse. I think the nurse is a really, really good shout. We had a nurse when I was in school. I've been at schools that had nurses, and it's
like qualified nurses.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
In high school we had one. I don't really remember. But like nowadays, just first aiders, just stick a plaster on it,
Yeah. Yeah. Here's a vomit bag. Off you go. Yeah.
Exactly.
Take the sick bag back to your lesson. Bye bye. Yeah.
Here's a paper towel.
Yeah.
Okay,
which is kind of like, I mean, in so many cases, it's fair because I don't feel well. Cool. Neither does anyone in the building. Like, neither do any of your teachers. No one feels well. No one wants to be here. We all are slightly sick or feel slightly sick, at least psychosomatically. Like no one is actually well here. So welcome to life. But
I'm sick.
Yeah. Every time a kid's like, Miss, I'm sick. I'm like, so am I.
Yeah. I'm bleeding. Me too. See? Me too.
Yeah, no, if they're actually bleeding, I'm like, please run, don't walk, get out of here, go. But yeah, okay, nurses I'd be behind.
Yeah. There are some first aids where I'm like, yeah, you go find someone. Others I'm like, me too. See, I'm still standing.
Yeah. I scratched my knee. Oh. Yeah, I do care more than I'm making out, but it is kind of,
it's difficult.
It is constant. Yeah, it's tricky, and I can imagine what it's like being in that office and like having to field having to sift the genuine concerns from the like never-ending onslaught of foolishness.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like we talk about this a lot on TTR of like what they expect teachers to do and what you genuinely can do. And like I feel like a good interview question. I haven't been asked it for a while, but I think like when I was training, they were like, you will get asked this question. How are you going to answer it? And the question is like, what do you do if the kids are coming in from break and this one's had a fight and this one's crying, and the rest of them are filtering in, you've got a lesson to teach. It's like, what do you actually do? Because, as a teacher, I can do a lot of things, but I cannot be in 3 places at once. And this is where I feel like some kind of professional that floats around the corridor. I don't know.
Well, we have those. We have floaters. They go around, like there's a rota. So there's always, I think, nice. 1 or 2 people on.
That's really nice.
Like circulating to pick kids up, because it would be, no one can function otherwise. And when they're on call, it's like the on call rota. And then on top of that, I think sometimes the pastoral, like behavior people are around anyway, going around and yeah, it's necessary, because you really feel some days the shortage of bodies, like the
100%
lack of adults, just to pick stuff up, and help with things.
So that you can teach.
Yeah, but then sometimes, right? Okay, so the opposite of these are kind of professionals that I've never seen work in a way that made them worth it. There's 2. Okay. A school social worker.
Right.
There's no point, because these kids and these families have social workers from outside, and no one talks to each other. And by the time things are arranged or things are clarified or things or whatever, it's too many cooks. And it doesn't, they're useful sometimes, but it actually ended up causing more kind of, and they're only in a few days a week. Like one school I've worked at had them, a few different ones, because it like changed every 6 weeks, because that's a job no one wants either. It was more trouble than it was worth, and it caused just nightmares. I've only seen it done once, but it didn't seem to work. That was not productive, which is weird, because you'd think like, we need more social workers, like we need more presence, we need them. It would be nice to have one in the building, but actually it didn't work in the wider system. And then I think for kind of similar but different reasons, school liaison officers, police officers in schools. I'm not, they can't actually do anything. And so there's like, they don't, what can they do? If we're trying to steer kids in the right direction, so you don't end up criminalizing them, like, what's their presence actually achieving? It tends to go one of 2 ways. Either they're there to scare kids straight, so that there's an intimidating fear tactic, or which I've also seen, they're too lax, they're too buddy with the kids, trying to show them that the police are okay, and us, like it has kind of the opposite effect. It makes them not respect the police as people that have any kind of power to help you, because it's just like that idiot that's walking around the school chatting to kids at break time. I haven't seen anyone get the balance quite right where it seems to actually help.
I think as well, like those kinds of jobs, pastoral jobs, I feel like you need someone from within the community of the school. That, like, I've seen it work where it's someone that's been in the school for years, like knows the parents, knows the siblings, knows the kids, knows like the living situation, the background. I think if you just drop someone into a pastoral position who is doesn't live within the community, or like know the community at least, it's very difficult, and I don't think you have the same impact, And Carla's mentioned that someone to take a restorative approach would be good. Yeah, like that's what I mean. Someone that's free that's kind of like wandering up and down corridors and in and out of class. Have that restorative approach and to pull a kid out, because like otherwise I feel like part of teaching is finding those pockets of time where you're not teaching, the kids are on task, and you can pop over to that one kid and be like, you okay, what's the matter, like tell me. These are pockets of time, and I feel like these poor kids kind of need more than that to process their emotions. This is the thing. I agree. Well-being people constantly available, and skilled, but at least constantly available to build relationship with certain kids, and take them out the classroom for 2 minutes, have a quick chat. You okay? No, you're not okay. Okay, what happened? Okay, great, let's talk it through, let's work through it. Great, you okay now? Okay, great, now you can go back in, you're ready to learn, and you're not affecting other people's learning. But I just think, especially like the way education is going, I don't know, seems like we need more of those kind of professionals, right, like walking our corridors.
But actually, I've been feeling more and more, right, the way I just feel like more and more it's band-aids on bullet holes. It's just
I agree.
Trying to like, you can't fix everything with duct tape. We're not we're not equipped in schools, never were equipped, and they shouldn't be equipped. They shouldn't be equipped, have to be equipped to deal with mass societal failures and like total parental ineptitude. Like we cannot compensate for the state of the wider community, and as in like nationally even, and we cannot compensate for parents totally failing at their jobs. And yet, if we want to give these kids the best possible, like a fighting chance in this world, that's what we have to try and do. And it's, yes, there are the occasional wins, and yes, it is so rewarding, and yes, it's great, and yes, whatever. But it just feels more and more like a losing battle. I just feel like I'm on a sinking ship. So I don't necessarily think getting every possible professional into schools, why us? If the problem is home, if the problem is the parents, if the problem is the neighborhood, if the problem is gangs, why is it on us to bring the world into our walls and solve this and try and help these kids? Like, why are we the only ones doing, like, expected to do? Why the hell should schools have to bring all these professionals in to sort out the world's ills?
It's true. I think we've spoken about that on TTR before, I'm sure, like on the weekly review, which we do on a Sunday, of like, how do we fix this part of the kids? Well, you can't, because it's not a problem from within school. So it's like you try and fix it at school, and then they go back home, and then the problem is still there, and they come back and you try and fix it and they go home. It's like like a tug of war. Outside world and school, because I feel like, like school can be its own little like world kind of thing, like a micro world. Once they're in, like, they're safe, nothing can really happen to them, they're protected, they're watched over,
But I just think schools are given too big a role, and this is why I'll never go back to pastoral in this country anyway, because we shouldn't be leading on any of that. The only thing we should be leading on is the education of these children. We have too big a role in all of the processes. Like, as soon as we report something, someone else should pick that up and deal with it, and then just like have a conversation with us about how we can support that kid between the hours of 8 and 4. And then nothing, like, that's it. And I will never go to another child protection conference hearing stuff that I cannot unhear, because I have no control. I have no control over this.
It's so difficult. We've got a few more comments from the lovely Carla. The need for balance of knowing the community, but also being a bit further removed to reduce bias. Yeah, for sure. You probably don't want to live within the community if you are pastoral, but you need to know the community. And then Hard to engage some families, but connecting with all the community would be ideal. Article on Schools Week about this at the moment. Yeah, it's quite a big topic, you know.
Yeah. So then maybe there should be like more community support or more social support, or like a place within the community where all these meetings happen that isn't my building, that's supposed to be about academics and like, but, you know,
they do this
being a functional adult.
Yeah, they do this in the medical field, like in hospitals, where they have like multidisciplinary team meetings. It's like, that's kind of what you want, isn't it? But in recent years, all those community centres, it's on the news a lot, like defunded or don't exist anymore. And
and I remember this was coming up on 10 years now. It was probably like 7, 8 years ago. I was on a phone call with this woman from Early Help. And I was ahead of her at the time. And she was basically, it was the Early Help advisor or something. I like blocked half the stuff out. And I was trying to get, she was like, so you need to set up this meeting. You need to do this. You need to meet with these parents. You need to invite the other professionals, the whole team around the family, all this stuff. And I was like, I need to.
Yeah, when?
No, and I was trying to be professional about it until I got really unprofessional when I snapped. And I was like, so the main issue with this family is this, and this, which is all happening outside of school. All of this is happening outside of school. We brought this to your attention and inquired about it because we want someone that's not our educational institution to support this family, and just kind of like have a discussion with us about how we can support these kids between the hours of 8 and 4. Like what? And suddenly I'm organizing meetings and I'm gonna do this. Oh yes, that's the school's role. And I was like, so why?
Yeah.
And she couldn't. She's just like, well, that's the expectation. That's what schools do. And I was like, well, it shouldn't be, because I don't work for Croydon.
No. Why?
I don't. I'm not a social worker.
And what? Whilst I'm teaching?
Yeah. When? And I was just like, this is the biggest joke I've ever. You're getting.
Yeah.
Like, why is that on any sort of school staff to organize a meeting to sort out a family's problems that have nothing whatsoever to do with this child in school or this child's education? It was like, it was something very like parental relationship, family stuff, had nothing to do with the kid in school at all. And I was like, suddenly this is my job because I dared to raise a concern or ask for help or like try and get someone else to support. So, like, I'm a teacher. What is that? What is this? Like, it's the biggest joke. And I don't think bringing more of that into schools is in any way the solution. Like, just more people are we're just gonna you're gonna turn schools into
like community
some sort of,
almost,
which, and you know what, if that's the goal, then huge reforms need to happen. But as far as I'm aware, that's not the goal, and that's not what we're doing here. So why are we encouraging that? Why are we just letting it happen?
I feel like as teachers, we're like screaming from the rooftops, you know, like we need these professionals in school with us, working alongside us. And I don't think it gets heard. I think
what I want are the like education specific, the learning specific, the supporting the learning of children, supporting educate, or like the phonics lead, supporting the actual school stuff.
Yeah, like
in schools. That's what I want.
Like directly to the teacher, directly to the kid that needs it. Yeah.
Yeah. I started out in a good mood, and now I'm just like, ugh.
Yeah. We can lighten the mood with John Cat and your cat. Yeah. Meowing in approval.
Always, constantly.
Yeah. Well, anyway, thank you everyone for listening. Our show is brought to you by John Cat, who have been one of our show friends for a very long time, and they've got some fabulous professional development books and resources on their website. Can level up your teaching. Great CPD. Their website is johncatbookshop.com, and we have a code JCTTR2425, you get 20% off your order. We also have USA Study, where your students or your children could study in the USA. USA Study is your one-stop platform for guiding students through their college application journey. You can access up-to-date resources on universities, programs, scholarships, and application requirements all in one place. You get easy-to-access tools, personalized timelines, expert tips, application templates, and exclusive webinars with admissions officers to help your students stand out. You visit usatoday.co.uk because every student deserves the opportunity to shine with USA Study. And the last thing we wanted to remind you about is Teachers Talk Connect, which is our Teachers Talk radio show, which is going to be Saturday, the 1st of March in Manchester. It's free. When do you ever get free CPD? Well, you do, but it's usually a twilight at the end of Thursday. So we've got amazing speakers: Lee Parkinson, Kate Jones, Vic Goddard. We've also got subject-specific CPD sessions and great networking opportunities. You can chat to all of our hosts, and all of you guys will be there. So tickets are free, but you do have to register, I think. So you go to ttradio.org and you can find out more about the speakers and where it's going to be and like timings. And yeah, please come and join us. You get your ticket. Get your ticket today. Maybe you'll meet an educational psychologist that will come visit your son.
Or a phonics advisor.
Or a phonics advisor. Yeah.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah. I'm sure you'll meet loads of fabulous people.
I'm sure I will. If I'm not, I think I told you last time I have to get up at something stupid like 5 a.m. to get a 6-something train. Yeah. So if I'm awake, I'll meet lots of interesting people. Otherwise, I'll just. But we'll see.
I mean, I don't want to say it because it might not be true, but there might be coffee. Maybe. If the boss is listening, there should be coffee, tea, and biscuits. I'm just saying.
It does make most things better.
Like an earpiece. Did you hear it? Did you hear that, boss man? I don't have an earpiece, but I'm sure he's listening.
He probably sat at home with his earpiece in.
Yeah. So yeah, that is it from us. Thank you for listening very much. Thank you for listening. Thank you for commenting.
Thank you, Carla.
Yeah, thank you, Carla. Thank you, Paul. We had Paul at the beginning. Yeah, thank you, Paul. Thank you, Carla. Thank you. Yeah, thank you everyone for listening. Yeah,
thank you.
We shall be back in 2 weeks.
Bye.
Bye.
Outstanding and world-class vision and world-class this.
I'm a real leadership geek, honestly. I've spent my whole career reading books and chatting to people.
I just find the whole thing and the announcement, the way it's been announced, bizarre.
If you could move away from a model where teachers are so intensely focused.